Digital Romance TV.
Hello, this is Digital Romance TV. My name is Clay Andrews. I am the world's leading breakup specialist for high achievers. And in this video, I am going to explain to you how to know whether or not you still have a chance of getting back together with your ex. Now, this is actually a very common question that people write in to ask us, and the answer to this is really, it's not as if there's some sort of cosmic math out there, like you just tell me your age, your zodiac sign, your ex's age, where you were born, all of that stuff, and then I put it into some magical Levitron 5000 computer, and it prints out one of those things with the perforated paper on the side, and you can read it, and it's like, aha! There is a 74.36% chance that you can get back together with your ex. It's not like that at all. The real thing, I know it seems as if it's all about the external things, whether or not they have a rebound relationship, whether or not all this stuff, right? It really seems that way. But ultimately, the main factor that comes as to whether or not you will actually be able to get back together with your ex is how much commitment and drive and motivation that you have towards getting back together with your ex. If you are sort of like, yeah, whatever, I'll try it, but if it's hard, then I'm just going to give up, right? Obviously, you are much less likely to get back together with your ex than if this is something that is very important to you, that you are willing to move mountains to make this happen, that you are willing to do whatever it takes and push through any obstacle, right? That is much more reasonable, right? It's like, what is the success rate of going to the gym, right? Well, number one, it depends on what your goals are, but number two, it also depends on, like, are you just showing up to because it's like, hey, it's January 2nd, I'm going to try and lose some weight, but a week later I'm going to end up back on the couch with a bag of potato chips in my lap? Or are you like, no, this is it, I'm going to lose the weight once and for all. My money is going to be on the person who is going to do whatever it takes, show up there every day, put in all the time that they need to exercise and eat right and do all the things that they can to lose weight, versus the person who's just trying it out, giving it a shot, whatever it might be, right? And it's exactly the same when it comes to you and saving your relationship with your ex. One of my personal favorite stories is from a client I worked with a few years ago named Steven, and he was actually in a very difficult spot. A lot of things were sort of stacked against him. Him and his ex were in a long-distance relationship. She literally lived on the other side of the world, and because of such, there was a language barrier, so there was some miscommunication, misunderstanding between them. There was a cultural barrier between them. She actually swore up and down that it was over between them, and she was in a rebound relationship with another guy, and she was absolutely convinced that this was the guy. She was 100% in love with him, and that Stephen was out the door. And Stephen also had some other limiting beliefs of his own, like he was about to turn 60. He wasn't sure if he could get this whole relationship thing figured out and all of that. And any one of those individual things, you could look at it and say like, oh yeah, well, there's no chance, I should just give up, right? But Stephen was not willing to accept defeat. He was more convinced that this is something he had to do. This is something that was worth going after 100%, and he was not willing to give up, even though there were all of these things that individually would discourage any mortal human being out there. But he found a way to push through all of that to go after what he wanted, and he stuck with it. And that is the reason why he eventually did get his ex back and actually went on to marry her. They don't live on the other side of the world anymore. They got married, and she moved out here to the United States to be with him. And as far as I can tell, they're very happily married now at this point. So it's not as if you just look at some external circumstance and say, oh, well, there's a chance here, there's not a chance there, and anything like that. It's really about you and yourself and your mindset and your commitment, your determination to make this happen, because that's what's going to pull you over the road bumps. That's what's going to pull you over the obstacles, the walls, the challenges that are eventually and inevitably going to come up in the process of getting back together with your ex. So that is ultimately how to know whether or not you still have a chance. It's whether or not you are willing to do whatever it takes to get back together with your ex, to overcome the challenges, to overcome the obstacles. So again, this has been Clay Andrews with RelationshipInnerGame.com. If you'd like some help getting back together with your ex, please head on over to RelationshipInnerGame.com and sign up there, and we'll start to send you some tips and advice to help you get back together with your ex. So again, this has been Digital Romance TV, and I am Clay Andrews. Talk to you next time.
If you and your ex-boyfriend or ex-girlfriend broke up and you want them back, put the cell phone down right now and go to digitalromance.tv/TXB. At that link, you'll find a special video I put together that teaches you the exact text to send to your ex to make him or her forgive you for everything. Remember how great your relationship used to be and even beg to have you back. Again, that URL is digitalromance.tv/TXB.